Hare Krishna, Prasadeshvar Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Sorry.
No problem. Are you ready, Prabhu?
Just 1 second.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Mataji.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today, our dear Prasadeshvar Krishna Prabhu will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, chapter number 18 and sloka number 10. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Chaitanyamishwaram. Hare Krishna. Welcome all for Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are going to discuss about Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text 10, the prayers of devotees of Jambudvipa, residents of Jambudvipa. We'll read the sloka, then Magara Daratmaja Vitta Bandhushu Sango Yadisyad Bhagavat Priyeshunah Ya Prana Vrittaya Paritustha Atmavan Siddhayati Adhuranna Tatandriya Priyaha Magara Dharatmaja Vitta Bandhushu Sango yadi syad bhagavat priyeshunah ya prana vitthaya pratitustha atmavan siddhayati adhuran na tatendriya priyaha magarandaratmaja vitta bandhushu sango yadi syad bhagavat priyeshunah ya prana vrittya paritustha atmavan Siddhayati adhuranna tatendriya priyaha. Synonyms. Ma, not. Agara, house. Dhara, wife. Atmaja, children. Vitta, bank balance. Bandhushuhu, among the friends and relatives. Sangaha, association or attachment. Yadi, if. Syat, there must be. Bhagavat Priyeshu, among persons to whom the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very dear. Na, of us. Yah, anyone who. Prana Vrittaya, by the bare necessities of life. Pratitustaha, satisfied. Paritustaha, satisfied. Atmavan, who has controlled his mind and realized himself. Siddhayati, Siddhyati, become successful. Adhurat, very soon. Na, not. Tatha, so much. Indriya Priyaha, a person attached to the sense gratification. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear Lord, we pray that we may never feel attraction for prison of family life, consisting of home, wife, children, friends, bank balances, relatives, and so on. If you do not have some attachment, let it be for devotees. If you do have some attachment, let it be for devotees who only dear friend is Krishna, whose only dear friend is Krishna. A person who's actually self-realized and who has controlled his mind is perfectly satisfied with the bare necessities of life. He does not try to gratify his senses. Such a person is quickly advances in Krishna consciousness, whereas others who are too attached to the material things find advancement very difficult. Purport. When Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was requested to explain the duty of Vaishnava, a Krishna conscious person, he immediately said, Asat Sangha Tyaga Hi Vaishnava Achar, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 2287. The first business of Vaishnava is to give up the association of persons who are not devotees of Krishna and who are too attached to the material things, wife, children, bank balance, and so on. Prahlad Maharaj also prays to the personality of Godhead, thus that, that he may avoid the association of non-devotees attached to the materialistic way of life. He must be attached to someone. He prays to be attached to the only two devotees. A devotee is not interested in unnecessarily increasing the demands of the senses for his gratification. Of course, as long as one is in this material world, one must have material body, and it must be maintained for executing devotional service. The body can be maintained very easily by eating Krishna Prasad. As Krishna in Bhagavata 9:26 says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachita tadaham bhakti upahartha asnami prayatnatmanaha. If one offers me with a love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. Why should the menu of unnecessarily increased for the satisfaction of the tongue? Devotees should eat as simply as possible. Otherwise, attachment for material things will gradually increase, and the senses and being very strong will soon require more and more material enjoyment. Then real business of life to advance in Krishna consciousness will stop. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namaste Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Padaka Swamiti Namani Namacharya Padanitaya Kripa Padayane Gaura Katada Mata Nagara Gramatarine. Hare Krishna. So welcome all again for Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Really thankful to His Grace Sankarshana Prabhu, who was so dedicated, so unstoppable. Whatever happens, I will ensure that Nityam Bhagavata happens. Thank you, Prabhu. Really, thank you so much. So yesterday we had a wonderful discussion, His Grace Gaurasingh Gopinath Prabhu, talking about what is a pure devotion. He covered very nicely. Today's topic maybe for Grihasthas look like a little bitter, but that bitter is better because that bitter will give a sweet in the later. So here the residents of Jambudipa, Bhadrashrava, they're offering prayer. Magara Dharatmaja, house, wife, children, bank balances, and friends, relatives, they should be given up, or we should get attachment towards Lord. Prabhupada writes here, we should be satisfied with the bare necessities of life. So, of course, we are grihasthas. Doesn't mean that we should take sannyasa and go. That's not the point. So it's a question of attachment. How much is one attached, or more than that, how we engage ourselves? That is the most important. It's not that. Doesn't mean that one should not have a wife. Doesn't mean that one should not have children. Doesn't mean that one should not have bank balances. Doesn't mean that one should not have friends, relatives. but what it means that how we engage everything in Krishna service. That is the point. Otherwise, if you're attached to this and if it's engrossed in this and sense gratification, then the spiritual growth is ruined. But if I engage everything in Krishna service and connect as much as possible everything for Krishna service, I can, the whole family can be engaged Krishna conscious. I can use my bank balances. I can use my friends, relatives for Krishna service. Then it becomes Krishnaized. That's why Prabhupada translates that the bare necessities of life. I may have Krishna would have given bank balances. That is to be used for Krishna service. Otherwise, Krishna will withdraw it. Krishna will think that I've given you the opportunity. But if you're not using it, what's the point? Let somebody else take it. So having a wealth, having a friends, relatives, having children is not the kind of impediments. Impediment is that my attachment, the involvement in the sense gratification, that is the impediment. So Prabhupada has always said that we should have a small tract of land, one cow, enough. That's the Prabhupada set standard. But we are in such a city, we cannot even aspire to have a land in a city like Bangalore. But we can use this opportunity because we have to take advantage of every bad bargain, Prabhupada says, no? So we have to take advantage of every situation. Yes, we are in such a situation, we have to use this. One particular place, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, especially talking about apartment, he says it's a pigeonhole. We people are living in a pigeonhole. That's a kind of a situation, but because we don't have access to land. But what to do? But today we have to use that situation, keep bare necessities of life, keep body and soul together. That is enough. We don't need the extra, the sense gratification, sense enjoyment. My desires has to be minimized. That's why Prabhupada talks about here. And the purpose, Prabhupada says that in the translation also it says the prison of family life, he says. Of course, that prison can be converted into Vaikuntha. That is the kind of Srila Prabhupada's mercy there. Srila Prabhupada told that every house can be Vaikuntha. So that prison can be converted into Vaikuntha. But we have attachment towards Lord and his devotees. We should have attachment to the Lord and his devotees. That is the only way to get. So for that, Prabhupada talks about Asat Sangatyaga, Vaishnavarachar. So with whom we attach, with whom we take association with, that is the most important thing. So today's discussion will be mainly focus the few reference from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, how this attachment is there, and finally how as a devotees, how we can come over and practice in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada also talks about here simple patram pushpam phalam toyam, how if I don't have anything, just one leaf, tulasi leaf, one flower, or little water, one fruit, if I give it to Krishna with the bhakti, Krishna will say ashnami, I'll eat it. If I don't have a bhakti, Krishna, even if I go chappan bhog, Krishna will not eat. We know the pastime of Duryodhana and Vidura. Here also, in one particular place, it's only as Bhakti Vikas Maharaj says, Krishna is not your purifying machine. Whatever you cook, you keep in front of him and take it. Doesn't mean that he has eaten. He's not a purifying machine. Your consciousness that matters. That's what Maharaj say. So we'll try to discuss few points here. Now, Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Krishna says, Yajñartha karmano anyatra lokayam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sanga samacharaha. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties. for his satisfaction, and that way you will always remain free from bondage. So Krishna is talking about the bondage to this family or relatives, bank balances. That is become impediment my progress in bhakti, unless otherwise that is used for Krishna service. It's a work as a sacrifice for Vishnu. If it is offered to Vishnu, if it is offered to Krishna, that is releases from the bondage. That's why for Grihasthas, giving charity is given importance. Rupa Goswami has given standard 50% for Krishna, 25% for our own, and 25% family, relatives. Maybe today's maybe it's difficult. So whatever possible, at least we have to keep a certain standard. In one of our discussion, we are discussing how as a grahastha will set a standard. How much I should use if my income is say 1 lakh rupees. How much I should use for Krishna service? How do I know 50% I'm using, or less or more? The discussion, the teacher who teaching that, he said, it's easy. You have your house, you would have spent lakh or crores. Use that house for Krishna service. Make a good altar, arrange weekly, regularly programs. And anyway, we have to eat food, eat prasadam, cook prasadam, call devotees, distribute prasadam. You may have a vehicle, use it for Krishna service. So in that, you are enjoying the Krishna's property at the same time using Krishna. So your percentage increases. As a grahasthas, we have a different intelligence to use whatever Krishna. That's why Prabhupada says utility is the principle. Whatever given to us, we should use for Krishna service. We require little intelligence. That's it. Doesn't mean that we have to give up everything. Everything can be used Krishna service. That's the important point. So same way here says perform your prescribed duties. So many times we know what is my duty. Of course, as per Shastra, that's the duty. We are not talking about a corporate duty. Corporate duty is required just to maintain ourselves. 8 hours work, enough. Sankarshan people will not agree with me. But what to do? That's a material world today. So in 2.44, Krishna says, Bhogeshwara prashatma taya pratha chetasa vyasatmaka buddhi samadhu na vidyate. Bhogeshwara prashatmanam. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment, the material opulences, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. If I am engrossed how to make money, how to enjoy, devotional service cannot come. Prabhupada says economic development and spiritual development cannot go hand in hand. There could be some exceptions. We know Chaitanya Leela, we have Pundarika Vidyanidhi, a wonderful devotee. He is so opulent, so rich. He was sitting on a golden bed that 2-3 people are chamara, and he is chewing the betel nut. The body is full of gold and diamond. Such an opulent person. But when Mukunda and Gadadhara came, Mukunda just sang one of Bhagavatam sloka. He threw away everything, just rolling on the ground, Krishna, Krishna. So this is the opulence he has got, but he is not attached to that. Similarly, we have Raghunath Das Goswami, who was son of such a very, very rich person, but he was not attached. His own father says he has got opulence of Indra. He has got a wife like, Apsaras. And his mother says, will bind him. And father says, what can I bind him? If that kind of opulence, it doesn't bind him, how can I bind him? So attachment to the material opulences is not that what I have, it's that how much I'm using it. Similarly, we have nice pastime Kolavecha Sridhar. Kolavecha Sridhar is materially looking at very, very poor, but it's mentioned that his house is the less than roof, more holes. His cloth is less than cloth, more holes. And he has got only one pot, and he is doing a business of banana, leaves and banana, fruit. And there comes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We bargains with him. So it is not that opulence is what matters, how much detached, because he is using the 50% of the income for the Ganga service. So we are also can use it Krishna service. Our mind, how much we attach to the enjoyment, material opulences, because unless I do that, this bhakti cannot come. Is Krishna's resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Krishna himself says. So unless I start giving up means we don't have to throw out. Use it. That is important. It's not that I should throw it. I remember a few years back when we were in Abu Dhabi. So His Grace Kaunte Prabhu was there. So one day after Abu Dhabi program, we were driving back to Dubai. So during the discussion, because that time our mindset to that, okay, by that time I think 5-10 years in Abu Dhabi, we had some money. So we discussing, we told Prabhu, we'll go back and retire now. Maybe I'll go to Vrindavan and I'll settle down Vrindavan. Kaunte Prabhu said, you are foolish. I was shocked. Then he said, Krishna has given you the opportunity to earn. You are the Grasta. Earn. Doesn't mean that you either give up your opportunity and go back and sit in Vrindavan. You earn, give that money to Prabhupada. Use it, give it to Guru Maharaj for using for Krishna service. You don't have to run away from your responsibility. So that doesn't mean that today enough, I will give up and no. Yes, the time of retirement to retire. But your premature retirement plan, don't do this. Krishna has given you the opportunity, use it and earn. Use it for Krishna service. This is what Kamte Prabhu said. I mean, point to that, the having wealth, opulence is not the point. How much are you using, that's the point. Like Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, 36th verse. Tavat raghadhyah snehnah, tavat gram, tavan moha angri nagado, yavat Krishna nate janaha. My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotee, their material attachments and desire remains thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family member remain foot shackles. So this is the lessons we get. So Prabhupada in one particular lecture says, if somebody take money from my purse, I will shout, I will complain to police. My wife or children takes, I smile. Because they are mine, that's it. But that mine is how long? Only this body. Next, we don't know. So the person taking other person also maybe in one of the life he was mine, but I don't understand that. So here until one become a devotee, the material attachment desire to remain like thieves. So what is the lesson here? And Prabhupada also says, simply take up Krishna consciousness. That too, Prabhupada insisting that chant Krishna's name and take Krishna consciousness, preach and take up Bhagavata, Bhagavatam. That's it. Enough. The remaining will take care. Be in ISKCON. Everything will take care. So our room, otherwise the home becomes a prison, the prison of family, and affectionate feelings for family members remain foot shackles. Like we are bound. I may be bound with the iron shackles. I may be bound with the silver shackles. I may be bound with the golden shackles, like mode of ignorance, mode of passion, or mode of goodness. But whatever it is, I'm bound. I'm not released. The shackle can be released. Prabhupada says that can be done by a pure devotee, a guru, who can cut the knot and release. Then we go to Shuddha Sattva. That is the level we should reach. So in Canto 1, Chapter 2, 9, it says, Dharmasya hi apavargasya nartho arthatyo pakalpate narthasya dharmaikya kantasya kamo labhaya hi smritaha. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to sages, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain for cultivate sense gratification. The chapter Divinity of Divine Services. The occupational engagement. What is occupational engagement? Dharma. Our engagement, occupational duties or our duties can be condition duty or constitution duty. Our occupational duties, engagements should be meant for ultimate liberation. That liberation doesn't mean that I should die and go. Samadhi, to the extent I can be in samadhi state, it's a mental state. If I'm 25/7 thinking about Krishna, think 25/7, whatever I do for Krishna's pleasure, then I can be in the samadhi state. This I remembers when I was in Abu Dhabi. There was a devotee, Sureshwar Prabhu, is from Bangladesh. I'm saying this because how much they are committed to Krishna, so especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his Guru Maharaj. He's so committed. And I remember for 6 months he had no job, no income. But whenever discussed, he never would have asked any money or anything for that matter, any help. He says, कृष्णा है प्रभु, चैतन्य महाप्रभु है, वो देखेंगे, हम प्रचार करेंगे. Wherever he goes, he will do kirtan. Wherever speak about Krishna consciousness, that's it. He never would have asked anything. And of course, now he's taken brahmacharya. And the point I'm saying that mental state is that important. That will bring the liberation. Otherwise, a devotee doesn't ask for liberation. Bilomangal Thakur says liberation, the mukti is waiting outside the door. I'm not even interested. What is I interested? I am seva. Seva for lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada. That's it. They should be performed, should not be performed. They should never be performed material gain. Further, according to sages, one who engaged in ultimate occupation. What is ultimate occupation to service? Is to do the service to Krishna, not for cultivate the sense gratification. So that is the ultimate, our end goal is that. So Bhagavatam here, Prahlad Maharaj, this is the Prabhupada also quotes in this. Durapurena kamena mohena cha baliyasa shesham griheshu saktasya pramattasya tasya payati. One whose mind and senses are uncontrolled becomes increasingly attached to the family life because of unsatiable lusty desires and very strong illusion. In such madman's life, the remaining years are also wasted because even during those years, he cannot engage himself in the devotional service. Prabhupada also quotes similar here. Prahlad Maharaj is offering to this prayer. He is saying this uncontrolled senses attached to the too much, increasingly attached to the family life, the unsatiable lust desires and very strong illusion. This world is controlled by Maya. Devi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durataya. Maya is just not so easy. Prabhupada says, my disciples are not sufficiently fear of Maya. They think that they can control Maya. Prabhupada himself said, I'll kick Maya with a boot. But doesn't mean that we should imitate that. We should fear of Maya. That can be done by surrendering to Krishna. With my own strength, I cannot, because Maya is an energy of the Supreme Lord. So we are illusioned and lusty desires. Our desires are so strong and it becomes so attached. Once I start desiring, Krishna fulfill the desire, but that creates a more entanglement, increasingly attached to family life. So, and uncontrolled the senses. The senses has to be engaged. Of course, these are all the good bhaktas, pure devotees. I mean, it's not for you, it's for me. I'm talking here, Bhagavatam. It's not for your benefit. It's for me, because my senses, my lust desire, I'm totally illusioned. And it says as madman. I remember, I don't want to name, there was a person, businessman, big businessman in Abu Dhabi. He had maybe 3,000, 4,000 employees. Whenever we talk, he used to say, yes, I am feeding 3,000 families. Because of me, these 3,000 families are surviving. So this is a statement he used to make. Now I know he has lost everything. The point, I'm not saying that, each one's karma will can, but ahankara should not be there. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vidatma kartha iti manyate. Krishna also says 327 Bhagavad Gita. The Prakriti and three modes with the sanction of Krishna, the activities happens. But if I think that is because of me, then that is a problem. That's why he cannot, engage himself in the devotional service. That's because it's a waste. Chanakya Pandita says, initial few years in childhood, the time spent in playing, then youth, boy and girl, in that time is gone. After that, maybe after 30 to 50 years, working hard, like a hard labor, like a donkey, because we have so much commitment. We have children, their marriage or higher education. We need money. We need to have house, property, and work. Maybe 50, 55, then time to retire. By the time our body is so degraded, don't have, time to do proper service also. By the time, there are people work up to 60 years, then they go to the hospital and spend whole money in the medical, because their body is so either stress, BP, or so many other diseases because of the atyahara or ugra karma. So we as a grahasthas, we to have little intelligence to manage this too. Yes, work is required. At the same time, how to keep that balance, we should have that kind of little intelligence and manage that. That's why Prahlad Maharaj says that in speaking to his friends who are all sons of demons, and Prahlad Maharaj stressed that every living entity, especially human society, must be interested in spiritual realization from very beginning. Kaumara acharate prajno. He says at the age of 5, we should develop the Krishna consciousness. This is another aspect. We, as much as possible, maybe we missed our bus. We started Krishna consciousness late, maybe 30, 35 years, some maybe teenagers. But at least we should give this to our future generation, children, because their parents may not be interested, because they don't know. I'm not saying because they are not interested. They don't know. I'm also was that like that only. At least we should make every opportunity to give them Krishna consciousness, whatever possible, a small way or big way, whatever possible, we should do that. Then the Prabhupada's movement can spread. This is what Prabhupada desired. The day we were discussing, in that the devotee, he said, no, there was a letter from one devotee from Russia or foreign country, written to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I'm doing service in the so-and-so temple. I'm cleaning the toilet. I'm cleaning this. I'm doing the deity service. I'm doing this. How do I know you are satisfied or not? How do I know you are happy with my service? Because he says, I have not had interaction with you personally. Maybe one darshan, that's it. But I don't have direct access to you also. Then how do I know you are happy with my service? Prabhupada replied back. Prabhupada said, I am sitting in Vrindavan. I cannot serve Krishna all over the world, but you are doing my behalf. That's why I am satisfied. I am happy. So the point is that whatever we do here, Prabhupada is happy, because Prabhupada wants everybody to preach. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said that ಭರತ ಭೂಮಿತೆ ಹೊಯ್ಲೆ ಜನ್ಮ ಕರ್ ಸಾರ್ಥಕ ಕರ್ ಪರೋಪಕಾರ ಯಾರೇ ದೇಕೋ ತಾರೆ ಕಹೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣೋಪದೇಶ. That's what Prabhupada also said. Go every house, every corner of the city, corner of the village, preach. Then we are, Prabhupada is happy. Prabhupada is happy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu happy, and whole Guru Parampara is happy. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj also says that as a human life, we should engage ourselves. Deha Patrasya Kala. This is Bhagavatam, the second canto, first chapter, the fourth verse. Deha Patrasya Kalatradishwa Atma Sainyeshu Asatva Api Tesham Paramato Nidhanam Pashyan Api Na Pashyati. The person devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to the fallible soldiers like body, children, and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not use or do not see their inevitable destruction. We have Gajendra's pastimes. Gajendra tried his best. His family members, he thought, yes, I have so many friends. I have family, wife who can support me from the crocodile. But no, nobody could. Finally, when took up the one flower, hey, whoever that Krishna, please save me. Then comes Vishnu comes, So point is that Atma Tattva. It's like Janma Karma Chame Divyam Tyakta Deham Punarjanma Nitimatme. So Arjuna, it says At Tattva. Understand Tattva is Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. His activities are Divya. Now when you understand that unless that understanding is not there, and we inquire into problems of life, of course, again, it's a basic, what is the real problem? We as sadhakas, we'll have so many problems other than we all know Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, Adibhautika, Adhyatmika, Adibhautika. I mean, all we know that we are, but we as a practice devotees, we have a, because when we progress in bhakti, the problems also becomes different. We'll have problem with our own devotees. We'll have problem with our other people. All these problems will be there, but we need to understand, and because our dependence on should not be fallible soldiers. That should not be dependent. We depend on Krishna. Avashya Rakshabe Krishna. That should be the mood. When that is there, everything will be taken care. Although sufficiently experienced, how many lives we have experienced? Millions of lives. We have gone through this. Maybe 84 lakhs or many times we have gone through. Still do not see the inevitable destruction. That's what here we need to understand. Then talks about 10th canto, 87 to chapter 38 verse. The illusion material nature attracts the minute living entity to embrace her. And as a result, he assumes the forms composed of her qualities. Subsequently, he loses all his spiritual qualities and must undergo repeated deaths. You, however, avoid the material energy in the same way that snake abandons its old skin. The glorious in your positions of 8 mystic perfection, you enjoy unlimited opulences. The chapter is where Vedas glorifying the personality of Godhead Narayana. So given like how when the snake gives up its old skin, like that abundant. Prabhupada also mentioned like the metal opulence is like when you go to washroom. That's the kind of detachment should be there. But he says that otherwise one loses all spiritual qualities. Maya is so strong, illusion energy is so strong, attracts the minute living entity to embrace her. So unless because Maya, we should be very, very careful. We don't know when the Maya will attract. We'll not even know Maya has attacked her. That is the danger we have. And similarly, third canto, 31st chapter, 35 sloka. The infatuation and bondage which accrue a man from attachment to any other object is not as complete as that resulting from attachment to a woman or a fellowship of men who are fond of women. So when you say woman, it's the opposite sex, for woman, other side, both sides. The point is that the attachment to sex enjoyment, the attachment to the material opulences, and the people who are doing that, we are engaging. So we should be very, very careful. This is the instruction by Lord Kapiladev to Mother Devahuti, with whom we associate, because we are all working in a corporate, different clients, different places. We are associating with them. So be very careful how do we associate with them. In one of the lectures, Grace Gauranga Prabhu from Chapati, he says that we should be like a kabaddi player. Kabaddi player, in a kabaddi team, there is a 7 or teams each one. One person goes to other side. He keeps chanting kabaddi, 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 kabaddi. And he goes there, he touches his line and touches somebody and comes running. He doesn't stay there, because if he stay there, they will catch him. Similarly, we are working in a corporate. We are working in a different atmosphere where the people of this nature, who are engrossed in sense gratification or material opulences or humanizers, we should be such that we should keep always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. May not be loudly in those places, but consciously we always remembering Krishna. Krishna, please protect me. And stay with them as much as you want to bring them this side. Don't stay there, because if you stay there, they grab you. So don't take Sangha, give Sangha. Wherever given opportunity, tell them. Otherwise, as soon as the job is finished, come out. Don't stay there, because otherwise they'll drag you like a kabaddi. They will drag you inside. So that's why we should be very, very careful. This Kapil Dev's instruction. Similarly, 11th canto, 14th chapter, 19th verse. Being conscious of the eternal self, one should give up association with woman, and those who intimately associate with woman, sitting fearlessly in a solitary place, one should concentrate the mind on me with a great attention. So here, Supreme Lord is the most excellent is method of practice. Uddhava is explaining how. So we should sit in a solitary place away from this materialistic people. So solitary place means now no vana. In olden days, vana was there. So solitary place need not be the place of the solitary. We make our consciousness solitary from the material things. We should make ourselves away from the material things in that concept, because physically we may be there, but consciously we should be away from them. That's we should, because we cannot go to Vana now. Where is the forest? And we are in the midst of the city. So in that place, our consciousness should be away from the materialistic. Consciousness should be always thinking about Krishna. So that's why Uddhava says, but Krishna tells Krishna tells Uddhava, concentrate in mind on me, Madgata Madprana Bodhayantas Paraspara, like how devotees discuss. Similarly, the great attention we serve Krishna. Finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's what Prabhupada also quoting here. Asatsanga Tyaga e Vaishnava Rachara. Sri Sangi Eka Asadu Krishna Bhakta Ara. A Vaishnava should always avoid association of ordinary people, common people who are very much materially attached, especially to women. Vaishnavas should always also avoid company of those who are not devotees of Lord. So this final instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as much as avoid unnecessary association, give association, and with that we can progress on bhakti. So asat sanga tyaga. Asat means which is not connected to Krishna. Which connected to Krishna is always sat, whereas which is not connected to Krishna is asat. Give up that and always think about serving Krishna. So these are the few points wanted to share today. So just to rewind or revise what we learned here, of course, this is not for you, it's for my own. So here the devotees are the offering prayers to Lord, how we should be attached to Krishna service, not to attach to materialist. Prabhupada, and the purport also talks about Asasanga Tyaga, referring to Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj. And doing bhakti is also so simple. like the quoting from Patram Pushpam. So doesn't mean that I need opulences to give to Krishna, but if Krishna has given the opulences, use it for Krishna's service. Otherwise, that opulence itself become poison. Like Kunti Maharaj says, Janma Aishwarya Shuta Shribihi, those who have a high birth, high knowledge, or then opulences or the wealth or beauty, they are unfortunate. They cannot do bhakti. They cannot chant the holy name feelingly. That, that's akinchana gocharas only can do. Materially impoverished can do. But we, when we have something, we should use it for Krishna service. Otherwise, our bhakti will not progress. We also discussed a few from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So with this, I'll stop here. Devotees can please correct me if I'm made anything mistake. Please. Hare Krishna. Om Tat Sat. Any mistake from my side, please correct me. Devotees can unmute.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Please bless.
Very exhaustive, Prabhu. You have covered so much. It is so much food you have given. It's difficult to digest.
This for me, not for you, Mataji.
Hey, Prabhu, for us also. Prabhu, the last one is Madhya 22.87, Prabhu.
Yeah, correct.
Asat.
Asat Sangatyaga, Vaishnavaracha. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes that.
Yes.
Yeah. Easy to preach, difficult to practice.
Yes, Prabhu. Nice to hear, but difficult to put into practice. Let's try, Prabhu.
But we have to take a step,
Yes, Prabhu.
each one of us. And we should help each other.
Yes.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna,
Pranam
Dandavat
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Yes,
Very
Prabhu.
nice class, Prasadeshvar Prabhu. Prabhu, I have you have explained, we have to do corporate service. Okay. In the process, we know we are serving to the blechas. Okay. That means those who are completely materially attached.
True.
Okay. But as you have also explained, you should keep reciting Hare Krishna mantra yourself, and you should be, not associating with them or something like that. But are we not going to accumulate karma, Prabhu, for doing service to the blechas?
Yes, some extent, yes. But we don't have much choice. But at the same time, whatever earned there, use it for Krishna's service. At least that austerity, that difficulty we are taking for Krishna's benefit, then at least Krishna will pardon us. Yes, because now we are in such a situation. What else we can do? We don't have farm. We don't have anything else to do it. We don't have any company who does moral business or business as per Shastra. We don't have it. So whatever is there, use it. But take a best bargain of use it for Krishna's service. So whatever, by giving donation and always being conscious of Krishna. And when certain age, try to retire, not that premature, but when your family responsibility is taken to a certain extent, retire and dedicate our life to Krishna. So that's the way we have to think. Of course, each one, time, place, circumstance will be different. As much as possible, the keeping Prabhupada's instruction, yes, we can do. Yeah, maybe your point is right, bro.
So that means to say, as early as possible, we should, based on the circumstances, we should retire from this service and follow the instructions of the Lord. As Lord said in 18.66, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. So all the sins that we have accumulated even in this Janma, by serving the blechas, even that also vanquishes if we completely surrender afterwards. That's what you mean to say, Prabhu.
Again, we should take this decision unilaterally in my own. I always should consult our spiritual master. Spiritual master may say that, yes, you continue and you donate everything to Krishna service. You know, Prabhupada's time also, many of disciples, they went out because there was a scarcity of fund. They went out or worked. They
And
worked
it's
in restaurant. So
Gopal
they,
Krishna Swami Maharaj is
correct.
the example. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So the point is that we have to always take concurrence with our spiritual master and seniors. And if they instruct, okay, go work, give that, then our full work becomes Krishnaized. So that's how we should take.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you very much for the wonderful class, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
All the points very helpful for us, our practically to lead our life, and you have stressed so many points, Prabhu. That Abu Dhabi, that boss who was who told that he is feeding so many people under him, but later on he went into a loss. So those points are all very, very helpful, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Please bless me, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranams. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have this doubt. They say Asat Sanga Tyaga, Prabhu. But if you want to give Krishna consciousness to them and want to ask them to come for our class, we have to be friends with them, and we have to be like make relation with them. So where do we draw the line, Prabhu? That kabaddi player was very inspiring, Prabhu. It is really nice. So should we be like that, or any
Yes.
other points you are giving, Prabhu?
So it's always give Sangha, not take Sangha. See, while talking to them, they may say something, but your expression should be that we are hearing, but don't hear from them. You give them, whenever discuss, you give them back something Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, they will influence you. So you should not take Sangha from them, should give Sangha to them. That's how. And at the same time, our sadhana should be also improved. Because we cannot keep on preaching and then one day we'll be with them only. Remember once one of the Prabhupada disciple, I think America, he told in this that pub and there's bar dance. There are so many people. He said, Prabhupada, I will go and preach there. Prabhupada said, you will not come back. Better stay here. So unless I've done my sadhana nicely, I may not be able to. So it has to go hand in hand. So while preaching, I have to improve my sadhana also. I have to, I have to keep my armor, weapons, strong, so that I protect myself. So my sadhana should be improved, and at the same time, I should go step by step preaching, and always go with the devotee. Don't go alone. Preaching. Always keep your devotee association. At least we will protect each other. Otherwise, sometime we'll be get trapped. So should be managed nicely. Always consult seniors, manage with that. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranams. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That be param drushta nivartate. For to getting a higher caste, she can go and then just talk to them and
True,
bring them as devotees.
true. Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Anyone else? Sankarshan Prabhu, are you there or is he? Okay, so nothing else there. We'll end here.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the class, and we'll end this session.
वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
See you tomorrow same time.
Thank you.